All right,
All right, let's go.
Still middle people been doing it.
All the trips, right?
All right, let's start this off by a quick allegiance. Oh, that's not, is that fast?
It's fast, it's always fast.
It's 5:59.
By the time we close, let's try to get it along.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I like that.
Just push record. That's all. Where's Lisa? Is something supposed to be
She's printing
blinking?
something, I think.
Lisa?
Yeah? Is
Can you,
something supposed to be blinking if it's going?
I bet that we now want to fix the side goes on first.
What's that?
To record or?
Goes on? Okay.
All right, welcome to the meeting of the Stamford Planning Commission. If you have a matter to discuss that is not included on the agenda, you may do so by addressing the chairperson and stating your name and address. So why don't we just go right into...
Did you read the whole thing?
Huh?
Don't forget that.
Oh, I don't have that. Okay.
Just handed it to you.
Also, just to let everybody know that there may be, and we most likely will be going into executive session shortly here for a personnel matter.
I'd like to also add
Also
to the
add,
agenda to work on the survey from BCRC.
okay, BCRC, sir. We just received it back, that's why we just want everybody to know that right up front.
So the survey and executive.
Right. Okay.
So now,
So, hearing of the visitors, or do you want to do executive session? Okay.
Well, oh, okay.
Well, I hate to do this, but we have to go into an executive session because it's a private matter. So we need to ask everybody just to step outside for, it won't be.
You guys are just coming here.
We have to talk about the executive session. We came out of the executive
Well,
session.
we will under the. Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Read of the record. Do we want to,
Hearing of visitors.
hearing, I just did that.
Nobody wants to talk?
You got something to say? Say.
Just here for the 181.
Oh, yeah. We all are.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so.
That's better.
So we have a motion for the minutes.
So I'm waiting for someone to make.
I make a motion to approve the records of April 13th, 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's that. All right, so the discussion about the open planning commission seat. So we have decided that we are going to recommend to the select board that Pam be appointed our next planning commissioner. So we just write a letter to the planning commission, or to the select board and recommend you, Pam, and then, of course, it's all up to the select board. And then, anybody got anything to say about that?
He's still alive.
No?
These ticks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew. I found one on my phone. I was in the woods.
A
just
tick?
like,
Yeah.
My dog.
It won't kill you, you just smash it with like a blunt.
Oh, got him.
Lisa, back to 181. then.
Okay, so,
Maybe have a little presentation on that.
yes, I do. One moment. Okay,
Okay.
so Act 181,
There's now a motion in the House on S325, which is looking to repeal 181, at least sections of it, the road rule and the tier 3, which is the critical natural resources section of it. LURB work is being suspended at the moment. They stopped working on the mapping. And they're looking to scale back the law, and the reasoning is high permitting costs and pushback from rural area landowners. So they're looking to repeal those sections rather than postponing the date is what they're first trying to do. And they're expecting the tier 1 portion to stay in place. There's no mention of tier 2, which I believe leaves Act 250 as it stands, so I'm assuming that the tier 2 would also stay.
Yeah, that's what I heard last night too. Tier 2 is going to stay the same, but tier 3, as it is right now, has been,
Well,
it's not completely gone, but it's the house is,
well, now it's the Senate bill, so.
right. So.
Mostly the road rule that's scaring everybody.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Stamford is essentially 60% national forest anyway, so we're essentially tier 3 to begin with.
Correct,
can
and then
start
when we were working on
wherever
the
they
turbine stuff, it was high priority forest block is a majority of what we are too, so we would largely fall under the tier
Yeah, which is essentially
Also,
status quo, right, as it was designed before.
3.
Same as tier 2.
Tier 2 is status quo with Act 250, tier 3 would put more Act 250 permits in place.
Village will probably be 2.
Yeah,
It won't be a 1. We don't have any
no,
infrastructure.
right.
More than likely.
You need to have infrastructure or the ability to have it.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of standards are going to just essentially be the same, unless it dramatically changes.
What? So I just want to, I mean, I've been trying to follow this, but I'm getting pieces of it, and I really wish that I could actually get the real scoop. The real scoop, not just, you know, people going nuts and throwing stuff out. But, so let me just ask this question. Look at LaShore Road. Let's use LaShore Road as an example, or maybe Bulger, LaShore. I mean, would those be in tier, it sounds like those might be in tier 3.
Also, elevation plays a part, right?
Well, I think that always has.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think I'm 1925 elevation, so it's automatically tier 3. I feel like Mike Senecal's land is also pretty
Probably
much.
like Senecal way up at the top. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we haven't
obviously.
gotten clarity even around the maps.
Our own zoning says, I mean, it's mostly because of Act 250, but anything above 2,500 feet, essentially, is like out of the zone of.
But that's 2,500 feet. Again, look at LaShore Road. I just want to use LaShore Road as an example because that's a road that you could look at that you really wouldn't want to have Act 250, the necessity of having an Act 250 permit to build a house on LaShore Road.
I'm not sure what they mean by status quo. If it's status quo, like, is there still local governance over some of this stuff?
Yeah.
Does it still go back to your local zoning board, the bylaws and all that?
That's the way
I
it
don't
is right
know.
now.
There's a lot of weeds and stuff that they have to get through.
We understand that right now it's going to stay status quo, and that this repealing part of it is kind of like maybe somewhere down the road or something. I don't know. They're trying to get out.
But I imagine if there's existing infrastructure, hence like County Road, Klondike Road, that area, for example, that they wouldn't try to impede too much on development. But a lot of that, if you're gonna even County Road, I mean, the National Forest isn't that far off from there. It's right there anyway, so there's a lot of tier 3, so I don't know if part of tier 3 is gonna have some leniency to it, where, you know, there's like local jurisdiction, or they just say that's tier 2 and let them, you know, operate it as they have been. Nothing's finalized yet, and it's a lot of lawyers. I mean, if you read the actual law, it's a lot of lawyer language.
And you know, I think part of what's so problematic is that there doesn't seem to be any discerning in terms of cost, right? For someone to do a low impact project or like a single additional and somebody who's like creating a development. And so
Sure.
a landowner who has some land and that's their resource and that's their, you know,
What's the problem with like developing or building anything in America anymore? We want to put everything in all these square boxes, like every situation is exactly the same, when they're all different, and then you need a whole bunch of layered permitting that slows the process down even more.
right, and makes
So there
money
just
for the
needs to like,
state.
be like a set of common knowledge that like, okay, that's right and that's wrong, right?
Mhm.
But we're so far from that now, it's hard, but, so it's, there's a lot to be figured out still, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting, what this all comes about. I mean,
And they are
the
pausing
Democrats
the-
in Vermont could slam it right now, as is if they wanted to. But they just freaked out with all the backlash, and they're like, well, we're gonna lose in November, we can't, I mean, it's all just a bunch of
Politics
politics right
is
now, it's a
becoming
bunch of
very,
crap.
it's become this
Um,
political divide.
We got a bunch of reps up there that are from Burlington, you know, they're from the big towns and big cities and
Sure.
stuff that are making up all this information without even taking a trip to the rural
Well,
town
it
next
makes
to
a,
them.
well, it makes a lot of sense for them because they have housing issues, right? And
Right.
they need all this development and
Right.
housing, so. I don't know, it'll be interesting. And,
Yeah.
and two, what if you have, so I had like 15 questions I wrote down in my car just driving one day. What if you already have a half a mile of road, right? It's your private road. And then just say the road rule is still in effect, it was gonna be 800 feet. So is it 800 feet from the existing road that you came in off of, or is it 800 feet from the end of your private
I
road?
have the same question, because we have that situation, so if we want to build off of our road,
Right.
does Act 250 kick in at that point?
That's probably been a
Yeah.
cart road for, 150 years,
Right,
it's
it
there.
was an old logging road, basically.
So I don't know, there's just a lot of gray area to it.
I have the same thing there, private road that goes.
My other question is, so that you guys are gonna spend 2 years rewriting bylaws, is it all just, garbage at the end, right?
That's
Does
my
it even
worry.
matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is part of the, revolt, right, against the state coming
Yeah.
down and getting, getting too up in our business
Yep.
Right.
and not considering rural communities like ours, and having created this model that isn't applicable.
Well, they paused the maps right now, and I know that list, Cam, that you and I were looking at, of those, like, counting all the different meetings that they're gonna have on it. I'm not sure if those are still on. I'll get it to everybody if it is, because I'm not sure, because
I think I heard they canceled.
they canceled everything, because, I mean, they're gonna make more time for public input, for
Right.
sure. But I don't know if they have a plan.
So anywhere in Vermont's hard to get, unless you watch like local news that comes on Friday nights on channel, satellite or something.
I
It's
can
hard to
tell
get
you
any
guys-
news coming out of the
I
state.
can tell you guys one thing, that you're not alone. There's not one person that I've heard of around that is not up in arms over it, so. I mean,
Well,
we're,
it's property rights, that's all we have.
yeah, that's all we have.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I would, I would,
It's a point where you just make it break you or push you out, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, like,
I got you.
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
talking a lot of money if you wanna do
Yeah.
something, if we do fall into your 3 year,
Right.
Right,
you know, times are expensive as it is right now, never mind that.
Yes.
right, yeah.
so first, I'm highly suspicious and resistant to anything that just makes a blanket, everybody in this whole entire huge area has to go through Act 250 or has to even apply, because that's a disaster. That's,
Well,
that just,
everything will come to a screeching halt.
that just cannot, I mean, that absolutely just cannot happen. That's first. Second, honestly, I wanna know why we are not better informed. I don't know whose fault it is, but listen, we are paying a regional planning commission. This is what they do. They work for us. I would think that when there are major changes coming down, that they should be sending emails.
Or
They
public
should be.
input sessions, or,
They
yeah,
need,
finding
I
out.
mean,
Yeah.
we have a right to know what's going on. And we are paying them, and I feel like it's their responsibility to keep us informed. And if they say it's not, well then, whose is it? How can we're all the way down here at the bottom of the state, like Kurt says, unless you have a certain TV program, which I don't have anymore, I don't get the Burlington News anymore, I get Albany News, that's what most people get around here. So, we need to be kept informed, the residents need to be kept informed, there shouldn't be this thing that just all of a sudden comes out. I mean, I pay attention to stuff, I mean, I read, I mean, I do pay attention, and this just seemed to come out of nowhere. I just can't believe that something so consequential, we are so ill-informed about, and I think we need to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Stanford should almost be, I don't know if this argument's ever been made, but almost a special consideration. We just don't pull enough weight to make the argument. Because 60% of our land is already preserved, in a sense, right?
That's true. Right.
You know, so that's already off limits. It's 60% of our town. So we're dealing with 40% of our town
Right.
to try to figure all the rest of it out.
And a lot of that, the rest of that land abuts that.
Sure.
You know, the larger pieces of property
Right.
abuts that.
But it takes up, and it
60%.
takes up a vast amount of the available land, I guess, that's out there. Right, so we should have some kind of, you know, model put into the same box, like,
Yeah.
maybe we gotta give them a little leniency and let them zone their own forest district like we've been doing for, you know.
Well, I can tell you this, that we get a lot of this information. Lisa is like on top of things when it comes to this. She's at BCRC all the time, so, you know, and this planning commission is up on 181, and we're at the watch eye for you. We'll get information out and disseminate some info that as we hear about it, we'll make sure you guys can.
Also,
Well,
I, from when Laura Sibilia was our rep, at that point I signed up for her newsletters, and I still get them, even though she's no longer our rep.
You do.
And she is
Right on.
very informative about legislative sessions. And so anybody who's at all curious, I mean, I wish Jonathan Cooper would do it.
I mean, maybe I should write to John.
Well, I will tell you,
Yeah, I mean, does he have, because she has a,
I mean, he has my email, but I didn't specifically
you should
ask
send
John
him
for
one
this.
of her, you should send him one
Personal.
of her, because, you know, of course, she's in Wyndham County now,
Why don't
so
you
it's,
send me one and
I will.
get on him.
I will, because he should be doing that for us.
I
I
talked
mean, not the
about
politicians have answers at this point, they're just like in a stalemate, and they're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much money went into this debacle.
Yes.
Millions of
Thank you.
dollars.
Jonathan Cooper is on top of these things.
Yes,
and,
but he's not communicating with our planning commission.
Right, and so I had a conversation with him today about something different, but I asked him about the 181, that's where I got the somewhat updated stuff. And, he will come to one of our meetings. So perhaps someday soon when we get a little bit more information from the House and so on, maybe he'll come down and talk to us a little bit more. I think it's important that we let them know where we feel. You know, that for sure. So,
Yeah, I will write to him and see if, like, as Pam pointed out, I don't get enough communication as the clerk to give to you guys, you know, about what's happening when they're at the public, you know, gathering information sessions.
I don't think we're receiving a lot of the information we should be either.
I agree.
I think the town is receiving it, but I don't believe it's disseminating correctly. Maybe it's not coming in from the state, or, I don't know. I'll check up with them, and I'm sure you will. So, I hope that helps everybody somewhat. We're on top of
Any
it.
specific questions?
Do you have thoughts or anything you wanted to express?
I was kind of wanted to hear, listening, like I said, so many people.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the text the hell with you, was no idea, you know what I mean? There's so many people that don't even have a clue about this, you know what I mean?
Right. We've been like, got a magnifying glass on it. I know there's a lot of people involved in watching things, watching now.
I think as, Pam, you can attest to this, as realtors, I've known about it for a year at least.
It's evolved from like Act 59 or whatever.
Yeah, and it's when Janet Hurley started chairing the whole thing, so, I mean, it's been a couple of years in the making, I think.
I just think it didn't seem like it was a thing until
I
all
didn't
of a sudden
believe
it
it.
was like
Yeah.
a thing, like,
You just don't hear
really?
the news here.
I
In
mean-
Burlington, it's been a thing.
Because it's
They mentioned
it.
pretty insane.
When BCRC came here, I
Yeah.
think it was more presented of this is what we're working on, but it wasn't really like, this is the way it's going.
I don't think they want us to know a lot because
Agreed.
I think the state.
Well, they're state trained, yeah,
The
sorry.
state in general has an agenda and they want to consolidate everything into the lower portions of town and basically to heck with everybody else. That's how I feel.
Absolutely, and you can tell, like, when we go to the survey, you can tell that's where
Yeah.
they're trying to funnel us.
Yeah, they definitely.
So is there one of the commissioners here, want to take on the task of following this vigorously and getting as much information? I'm just wondering, is there somebody that would like to do that, or do you want to all just keep doing what we're doing?
Yeah, I think we should all be equally educated. I think everybody should. I will take the lead and continue to follow this vigorously.
I mean, even in town office more
Yeah,
than maybe than I am. Maybe perhaps check with Lori that anything that comes in,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, I know it goes to the select board sometimes, maybe make sure we are getting any and
Sure.
everything.
plus as AO, you'll get information directly from the state that they may not get in there.
I'm surprised because I'm on the email list, you know, it's statewide with the administrative officers and there's nothing,
No. I know I used to be able to email and you'd get a half a dozen people would email you back
that's what
with
I'm
an
talking about.
answer.
It's a listserv.
Yeah.
And it's pretty handy, but it's been very quiet.
I wonder if somebody wrote 181 question mark. You
The
get some answers.
Facebook group, are you on the Facebook group on either of you? That's a good resource to keep following how the sentiment of what people are thinking.
With ET Digger, I mean, like it or hate it, they have been pretty good about keeping up with it, reporting it, yeah.
Yeah, I got some information.
And that's online too.
All right, anything else on 181? No? Okay, let's move on.
BCRC survey.
Okay.
Does anyone need a copy of it, or does everyone have it, or does anyone want a copy, physical copy?
I made a copy. Do you want to look at
This is a survey BCRC is doing as part of the grant.
I have one copy, but if only one person needs it.
We can share.
She can have
We're
one.
in the midst of
Do I
rewriting
need to
our
just make
town
more
plan.
copies?
Maybe kind of mention that I walked around with Callie and Samantha on Friday.
Oh,
Did you?
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's a good, just a little historical tour. of the-
Right,
I wish
yeah.
I'd known, I would have gone.
We're good, we gotta, I won't mention the resident, because they don't wanna be mentioned, but we got a tour of a historical structure here in Rollins, pretty cool. Yeah,
Did you map out where the walking tour is gonna happen?
they're gonna kind of decide all that, I just kind of
They
walk
are?
them around, like
Oh.
the property, I guess the line, the wall of the village district. We just kind of walked around the other area, to the store, up to the bridge,
Don't
basically.
forget Belmont's in the walking
Philmont's, yeah, Philmont's will be in the walking. Yeah,
tour. Ice cream, no.
I think they're just gonna stick to the main road and probably go up by the firehouse, but that's just a guess.
Nice,
Alright.
great,
Yeah.
fun. Hope for good weather.
Yeah, see if you get anybody out. It'd be a
We
good
have a
night.
rain date, yeah, hopefully it won't rain both those days.
Alright,
Great.
so I
And you
got,
know what, I think, and I would be happy to do it, I think we need to start announcing it at the select board
Yeah.
meeting, so it's in the minutes. And we should get Walt Dupuy or someone to put it on the Facebook,
right, now that we have that.
now that we have the little
You know what I'm
thing.
talking about?
Card.
Yeah, the little card,
Hmm.
I'll
so
do
that people know about
I'll
it,
do
just, you
something
know.
in charge of
But if
that.
it's just us that shows up, that's not good.
It may
And
very
are we
well
having
be, but
snacks?
it may very
Because
well
the
be.
snacks are not mentioned in the
Oh,
announcement,
God.
which
We took
I
the
believe
snacks
are,
out of the budget.
I
Freeze.
thought they were in there.
They
I thought
were.
we were gonna get the mail.
You can't mail things and feed people snacks?
Right.
Okay, I'll bring snacks. I'll bring snacks, we'll bring snacks.
Alright, I will be in charge of putting them on the Facebook pages or
Okay, great.
requesting they get put. Perfect. Okay?
Okay, on to the town plan survey.
Hmm.
I just, again, I just feel like there's this, you know, there's this development push, even in the language. So I took the liberty of doing some editing.
I read that. I mean, I didn't,
Did you
I
feel
feel
it? You
it.
feel it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You feel it,
Yeah.
you feel it.
they're pushing it.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm not in the capacity I should be when I make this comment, but I'm sorry, but BCRC is trying to cram housing and development down our throats.
That's their job with the state.
They're jamming it down everybody's throat.
Yeah.
Don't feel like
It's every regional planning commission.
And so we get a $25,000 or whatever it is dollar grant in order for them to help write our town plan, and they're trying to, we've been pushing back.
we're pushing back, I resist.
Right, we need to be
Resist.
careful, like, because they're
Resist.
sneaking some of the I feel, I don't want to accuse them of being sneaky, because I don't think they are.
I do.
But I think it's just them doing their job, but I think that there's a lot of language in the survey, and it's slippery slope if we just let this go to every house in Stamford that's aiming towards the, infill and development
Yeah.
and, abandoning the rural areas, really.
Because we're not gonna get a response from anybody. I'm telling you right now, as this goes, if this came to my house and I don't know what I know now,
Oh, yeah, just.
Kinley.
Huh, yeah.
Are they asking questions about infill?
Yeah, right here, infill housing.
So,
we're
do
doing-
you really think that anyone in town knows what infill housing
Well,
is? They don't even know what that, you're not even gonna know what
Why
that
don't we
is.
just go through this from the beginning and then
Start at the top.
we'll get there.
My first suggestion for an edit is that instead of, okay, it starts out, the Stamford Planning Commission is seeking your input on priorities and objectives as it updates the town plan later this year. I'm fine with that sentence. The next sentence, the town plan helps to create a series of long-range, spelled without the E, planning objectives for development, land use, density, historical preservation, and quality of life. I propose that we change that sentence to, the town plan helps to create a vision for our communities on issues of, number 1, land use, number 2,
Why do
development.
you want to number them?
I'm not numbering them, but I'm changing the order because
Oh, okay.
I bristle when development is what comes first. So land use, then development, then density, and then I would say historical and natural resource preservation and quality of life. Because I feel like they lump,
Historical in with the natural resources a lot. I have that comment later.
exactly, it's 2 different issues.
Yes.
Okay, so then keep going. When we get to the first series of listing things, I can give you all these for adjustment. All of a sudden, we went from listing your top 3 to now all of a sudden it sticks, even though there's only 5 options. I feel like burdening people with figuring out every single, like top 3. Top 3 is gonna say what people really care about.
I also thought that the arts and culture, I'm not sure if that belongs.
Yeah, public events.
I mean, I felt that could go, because I also
It
thought.
doesn't sound specific to the town, it just sounds like a copy
their
paste
boilerplate.
cutters.
But we're trying to make it specific, yeah, to us. I don't know, what does everybody else think about that? Arts, culture, I feel like that's not really our town.
But how do you know,
People might want
That's
more.
again,
Because like the library does.
you should
No, it's
not
what
be
do you
setting
like-
up,
It's what do you like best about Stamford?
oh, that's the question,
Yes.
what do you like best about Stamford? Oh, well, we really don't have.
So that feels like a red
Do you
herring.
want a copy of this?
Well, then I'm sure the answer from Stanford is they're gonna weed that out and they won't have it like a main feature of the town plan. They're just trying to cover a broad scope so they can, it's a survey, right? They wanna see,
Yeah.
that maybe there's 2% of the people that like whatever you just
Think
said,
we have
arts
great
and
arts and
whatever.
culture.
Right, and then they go, 2%'s not enough to include it, right?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, there's.
Well, I also feel, I mean, whether we take that out or leave it in, I also feel like the one before it that says natural resources, trails, farmlands, local food.
Well, the
Okay.
question is, what do you like most about Stamford?
Right, but what about clean water? What about, forest?
Right.
I mean, it's like,
Even though we pushed last meeting with them to really get the nature and the preservation back in, and they largely, I feel like, did not take that up.
I mean, I feel like there should be two separate things, you know, in terms of natural resources. I mean, a farmland,
We could just say natural resources, we need to actually say trails, farmlands, local foods, like,
Man,
Yeah.
I,
no, I'm talking to Marta.
so, this is our survey. Write our survey the way we want it.
right,
Don't let somebody else, we're not gonna let them write, this is a boilerplate, this is what they do on every one of these $25,000 grants they get.
Right.
And when they have a community like us that push back a little bit to make the language what we want it to mean for our community, they may not know how to do it. Right? So I would suggest that if we took the time ourselves in our extra,
Infinite wisdom.
in our extra meetings that we have now,
Oh, yeah. Well, we need to get the survey done today. I'm just
yeah,
gonna say
that's,
that.
I mean, that's literally what I
well, then
said.
that's what we do on the
Because they
second
need
half
time
of the
to do it.
meeting.
Let's just bump this out. We
Let's just
have
go
to
through
get
it,
done
because
in
this is our
Suffolk
next, yeah.
They need to be, does it
All right.
say for, what is the block? It is the,
May 30th.
30th. She wants to get up on me first, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to.
I just feel like it's gotta be more personalized. These guys, when they pick this thing up out of their mail and they look at it, round.
Well, exactly.
round
Well, and
file.
that's why, for one thing, instead of making them do like all 1 through 9, let's do 1 through 3. Let's have people's top 3. Won't that give the clearest?
I mean,
Anybody?
Highlight also, it should be in bold.
That- I
All
put
of the
italics.
following-
yeah.
Please, italicize, bold,
I said the same thing
highlight,
to- yeah.
all of the following survey questions
Right.
are optional.
Yeah.
They really are.
I would just get rid of the whole survey, look into the camera right now, tell everyone you're rewriting the town plan, and if you wanna be involved, come on down to the meeting.
Yeah,
Otherwise, stay home and don't worry about it.
There's your survey.
There you go.
I remember when they did this before.
Uh-huh.
We just saved ourselves.
I said,
25.
what the heck? Like it's gonna matter. I'm sorry.
No, it's true.
It's not gonna make,
Well, what's troubling is when it starts to feel like it's directed as an instrument to their agenda. And that
They
they're
got the
trying to
grant from
create-
the state, so yeah.
They're
it
trying to
is.
create buy-in for their agenda in this subtle way, and it really, I bristle.
Perhaps
Because the
we
ultimate-
shouldn't have even
I know.
involved them.
Well, too late now.
That's where I was going in the beginning, but I'm just, it's like, and Kirk has been here longer than any of us, along with Pam sitting next to him. You guys can fight over who, but,
54 years.
I'm just saying, if you look at every town plan since you've been here, I'll guarantee you that it probably reads something like this.
Oh, it's all cookie
Every
cutter
single,
stuff with
you know,
very little bit added into it.
It's all cut and paste from year to year, well, what is it, 5 years?
But given
6
what's
years?
happening legislatively right now, I think it's more important than ever to be really specific about not just doing cookie cutter. Like looking for the places where it's like the one word
Yes.
moment, or, whatever it is.
It's more important than ever that we we retain the
Yeah.
control over the language.
I mean,
Yeah,
Right,
that's
we
gonna
need
be in the
personalized.
writing of the bylaws.
Right?
And,
Yes.
this gives us a little bit of an idea of what they want our bylaws to be, and we don't, that's not up to them, at least for now.
Okay, number 2, who would you most like to see improved in Stamford? Does anybody have any issues with those?
less certain.
I don't see that getting around without a car is anything we can do anything about. Like, can we actually provide that? And besides, that's a
We
personal
cannot.
decision. So
Right.
let's take that out, right?
Right, I mean, the town is laid out the way the town is laid out.
Yeah,
Right.
nothing's
And we
gonna-
mentioned that before about there aren't any buses or anything, and it still made it back in.
Right.
Because I think they're gunning for that transportation's part of the.
I mean, I think we have to focus on what we can actually potentially provide. So obviously, housing options, affordability important, schools and education important, traffic calming,
Sidewalks.
Well, you
Translate
can't afford a
this.
cop, so
Well,
we
no,
can't.
it's not
afford
for
a cop.
it's like a rotary or those
Yeah.
speed bumps or.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, we don't
Put a
have
speed
any,
bump out
that-
on Route 100.
I don't know.
I
think
think,
so.
then I think we lose traffic calming. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah,
Okay.
We can't do it. Why are we offering, why are we, having, it's like, we
that's a
can't do
state
that.
thing, traffic calming,
not our-
it's not
our
even
job.
in our jurisdiction.
Right.
We wouldn't be able to do it.
But even if it
State
were a
law.
state thing, we would not have like the space or the setup, the scenario for that.
We would only have control over the side roads, and who wants to count the side road? Well, each road might be an issue,
Yeah,
the
Right,
drag strip.
right.
okay, we'll go with that one then, 3, 2. 3, what is your top concern for Stamford? We're ranking these, there's 10 here.
I would urge top 5. I don't know, I just feel like it's too cumbersome. I mean, if I like,
Oh, God,
you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, this, and this, or top 3 even.
Economic and job opportunities in Stamford.
We've moved on
Is
to
that
3,
an
2.
open plan?
we're down to 3, we're done with 2.
$9 a
We've
year.
moved on.
Right. Yeah,
25.
25, I'm sorry. We got a raise.
okay,
So
so
then you-
number 3, top concern. I think,
I'd get all confused if I had to do 10.
I know,
Crossing out,
Again.
didn't we?
again, either top 3 or top 5 for that one.
So should we do top 3 for both 2 and 3? Would that be simpler for everyone?
For 2 and 3?
If we had them, what are your top 3 priorities? Rather than rank 1 through 9, 1 through 10?
I would say top 3.
If anything else, I want you to get your feedback, it's gonna be quite interesting.
I know, lucky me. I guess we have a face of that. All right, number 4, in general, do you agree or disagree with the following statements? I thought this table was fine.
Me too.
5, which statement most accurately describes your vision for Stamford's future? Circle 1, I had tons of issues.
Me too.
We did before. They
We did
didn't take
before,
it to
they
heart.
did.
I think we
Yeah.
quit there.
Yeah.
I propose that the first one be, Stamford will stay as it is with very few changes. That's number 1. I propose that the second one, because I don't think mixing the school in with this issue is, like, we talk about the school later, we ask about the school and other things.
School should not be there.
It
That
should not be there.
Part of it.
It should be,
We
okay.
said that already.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah,
You
no,
know, it's
you're
like
right.
at home.
We're both
All
right.
right, no fight.
We had them stop, we had them cut out that without the school.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
now it says with,
With the school, well, with the natural resource, and I'm like, oh, it's
yes.
too many things. What we're talking about in this section is essentially
The growth.
housing.
And the growth of population and the
Population
housing that
and
goes
housing.
with that.
So if the first one says Stamford will stay as it is with very few with few
Which
changes.
means a natural resources in that first one, because for me, natural resources is mentioned in the second one and the third one, but I feel like, oh, I want to protect the natural resources, so I'm gonna pick circle 2 or 3.
Well, I don't think the natural resource should be in either of these. Because I don't think we can promise that. I think by potentially bundling
Why they put
dangling
protection
natural
over-
resources
yes, that makes me want
with
to pick one of
housing
those.
makes it,
Yes,
exactly.
that's
So
what I'm
it's a
saying.
false, it's a red herring, as they will.
Yeah,
So I think the
because what if I
second one,
wanted a small population growth, but then if I want to protect the natural resources, I have to pick 2 or 3, which I know they're not.
Right. right. So what if number 2 instead said, Stamford will experience small changes with, take out that whole piece, with some new development, mostly small-scale residential in and around the center of town.
Yes, well, also that's leading, Your Honor, because I put leading, because it's telling us that if we're gonna have growth, it's going to be around the center of town. What if we don't have space for the center of town, we want to have more development in the more rural areas?
Well, this is one vision that they're proposing.
But that's the only place that has the growth. They're also lumping growth in with the village center. And it's again aiming us, it's funneling us down, okay, if the town is gonna grow, it's gonna be in the village. That sentence, that option.
Well, what if we took out in and around the center of town? and just left in mostly small scale residential.
I'm sorry, does anybody else have anything?
I think that makes sense, because then the third one has, like, it's adding in addition of local businesses and stuff.
Right.
So it makes it, if you don't want that, then you pick two. If you want nothing to change, you pick the first one. And then the third one does talk about expanding public service. I don't know if you're keeping that, but like, it's got more of the air of
Yes, you're right.
businessy.
Do they
You're
ever
right.
did they mention
So-
the percentage, I'm sorry?
That's okay.
The percentage of these they get become,
Can someone fix
Still
that?
Okay, somebody get some scotch tape from her office.
Oh, good idea.
I'm sorry, I can't tell
I
it.
have an alcohol.
We gotta hit it with the end of
Can't concentrate as long as it's alive and it's crawling around on the floor.
No, you can't.
Just stunned it.
Still around. It came back to life. No, I've done that with my pen, Jim. No,
We thought so.
you're good at
What? You gonna eat it or you want the
This one
me.
doesn't.
I'll keep this, I probably
Village
will.
center and some existing residential areas. This says the board standard language.
Stay away from that.
Again, I think natural resources will remain protected. Needs to come out.
that could work with me.
Yeah.
Did you get it? Nice.
That's a different tick.
I've never seen.
The number one?
That's
Wait,
different.
kill a stick.
Yeah.
So wait,
Well, your
it
pick, you're
still
saying?
doesn't kill it.
No,
Oh.
I couldn't
You
kill
just
it.
have to throw it away.
You gotta hit it with something like the head of a
Yeah.
screwdriver.
I rolled my pen on
I rolled my nails
All
on it,
right.
which is usually, you can hear it.
I'll be here all night.
Enough TikTok.
Okay, keep moving.
TikTok.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, order,
So,
order to court.
Stamford will experience small changes with some new development, mostly small-scale residential. How about that? It keeps it out of
Get
defining
rid of all of
only,
that.
defining only in and around.
Does everyone agree with that? Getting rid
Do
of
people
that?
like that?
Did you get rid of minimal population growth?
Or-
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I just, I
Was
basically,
number one keeping very few changes in population?
Stamford will stay as it is
Stay as it is.
with few changes.
Thank you, sorry, take that.
Because that's the most
Are we just leaving
essential.
it Stamford will experience very few changes?
No,
Why do you
Stamford
say
will
as it
stay
is?
as it is, because I think some people really have the feeling,
Well, isn't that experience few changes means stays as it is? Isn't that kind of embedded in that language?
I mean, first of all,
So we don't
when you
have
talk about
extra-
population,
Yeah.
people are gonna be born and people are gonna die.
Right.
So change is inevitable, that in that realm. I just felt like it was clear, it was the simplest, clearest way to say that, instead of their way.
So you're not gonna, you don't wanna say few changes in population and little new development? You don't wanna say that?
But you'll all, I bet,
Well,
that.
stay as it is could mean so many things. And I think the question here is getting at population growth and development.
I agree.
Okay.
I
How about
see
we
what
just
you're
take
saying.
out very,
Very.
take out very few changes.
Okay.
Just have,
Sorry,
Stanford will
Mara.
experience, no, I'm,
Few.
I need to be our.
I am flexible. I am here to be challenged. I'm curious and open.
Okay, so then number two, Stanford will experience small changes, and then we took blah, blah, blah out, and some new development.
Yeah,
Mostly
with
small
some
scale.
new development, mostly small scale residential.
Does everyone agree about taking
Yeah.
out in and around the village,
Mm-hmm.
the town center of town?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then number three, Stamford will see considerable population growth and expanded public services. Again, I would take out natural resources. You're dangling something that you can't promise. There will also be the addition of housing, local businesses, and public amenities in the village center and some existing residential areas. Does that make sense?
Which statement most accurately describes the rate
I would leave it, but I don't see anybody circling that one.
You never know. I I just think them inserting the natural resources, because we talked about how we care about our water and our land and all that else.
But it was, like we said, it was misleading to have it in the second and third option.
Correct.
It's just making you search
Should
one
say
of
something.
those.
Yeah, it's leading the witness.
So it'd be preserving natural resources for all three, and then why have it in there? People fill this in.
Well, let's have a separate, you know, it should be a separate issue
I think
about
we get
natural
to that.
resources. We
get
do get to it.
All right, let's move on. Land use. How has the rate and type of development been in Stamford over the past 10 years? That's fine, I think.
Yep.
Everyone?
Agreed.
Basically.
7, which of these development types do you support in Stamford? There's a lot here. Check all that apply though. I don't really have a problem with that question.
Me neither.
Tourism was a little bit weird, but. All right, housing, what is your principal concern relating to your personal housing situation? Again, a rating of 1 to 7.
Oh, wait, I had one question about that excessive list. Telecommunications facilities, they don't mean like AI centers, right? I mean, they're not gonna fall.
They're all state regulated.
Radio
Can't do
stations,
anything.
I
television.
think they need cell towers
Oh, okay.
by
I
that.
mean, I don't, but I
It's
think that would
exempt.
fall under it.
Okay.
From the bylaws.
Okay. All right, sorry, go ahead, housing.
Again, we're at the top 7. I mean, rate them 1 to 7 for your priorities. But if my priority might be selling your house, then why am I rating, paying ongoing ownership bills? And, these all aren't gonna be important to me, all 7 things. So maybe
Again,
you want
top
to do
three.
top 3 again here?
Top 3.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they already know, the commission already knows the answers to all these questions. They've been dealing with Stanford long enough.
Right,
So it's just a formality.
I know.
Yeah.
But I take it seriously, Kurt.
Yeah, you should.
Do you think the current housing option in Stamford meets the needs of its residents? That's, yeah.
Well,
Sometimes
that speaks for itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Some types of housing can be incorporated into existing communities that are well less known, accessory dwelling units, infill housing, that's where it comes up, and they're defined here. And mixed-use development, which integrates residences with commercial, office, and retail space in a single building. So I like that they define them here. I know they were looking to use this as an educational thing, but what do you guys say?
Well, for one thing, wouldn't it make sense to put this question that they have on the bottom here? Would you be interested in having more of these types of housing in Stamford to help meet the needs of current and future residents? Shouldn't that go up here? Like, shouldn't that go up here? And then with each of these accessory or dental, then you have a little space for yes, no, maybe.
I didn't follow. So that, they're just telling you what it is, and then after they explain to you what it is, then they're asking you if you'd like these. So they have to explain it first.
Well, I mean,
Mine looks so different from yours. We have pictures of yours.
Wow.
So I think they need to explain it first if we're gonna keep this,
Yeah, they're defining it
and
and
then
then
asking, would you like more of these?
Okay,
So we need
fine.
to define, but do we wanna go down that route?
I don't want to do that.
Anyone?
I mean,
What do you mean, do you want to go down that road? What do
Yeah,
you mean by that question?
Keep this question, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know if it was getting too much with the educating the public portion. Okay. How do you feel about short-term rentals? That's
Self-explanatory.
Do you agree there are enough opportunities to find a job within your town? Fine. Okay, now we're on to natural and historic resources. How important do you consider each of these natural resources in Stamford? Again, we're at 8 different things to put priority to.
She gets really close.
Doesn't she? I know.
Everybody says.
Wow.
Never did it.
Again, I don't know. Top 3? Top 5?
Which one are we talking about now?
13.
We're on number 13.
Okay.
Top 5? Did I hear 5? Do I hear
Four.
5? 5 going once, 5 twice, 5? 5?
Five.
Okay, 5.
5.
Do we want them to rank them, or how are we marking these?
Yeah, they should be ranked.
Right,
Yeah.
top 5, 1 being your top priority.
Rank, okay.
Rank being this whole thing.
Okay, should the town develop regulations to protect First of all, prime agriculture and forest land to me are two different things.
Agreed,
So I thought they should be their own line.
agreed.
Anybody else agree? Yeah. Any other thoughts on that question?
14?
14.
Should the town develop regulations to protect historical buildings and sites? Is that where you're?
Yes.
Sure.
15, should the town work with conservation organizations to purchase or otherwise protect with the use of regulation?
What does that mean? That's my question. What are they talking about? I mean, Kurt,
Yes.
is there?
Read the question again.
Should the town work with conservation organizations to purchase or otherwise protect, without use of regulation, the following things?
Well, a conservation organization that purchases something won't pay taxes.
Yeah, I'm thinking like,
You've been
not
doing that
National
long.
Forest. We don't want National Forest buying any more of our
You're
land.
So I think what they're referring to maybe would be like some sort of trust that the town would participate
Okay.
in, a purchase of land.
Mhm.
But the point is, I mean, well, yeah, but you don't want to eliminate questions just because you think you know what the answer
Right.
is.
Well,
Because
I don't want to eliminate it as much as I want to understand it.
So it's a conservation, land conservation, just be whatever the trust is gonna do with
Yeah,
it
like
usually.
historic buildings, so if we have an historic building, do we want to work with an organization to protect that rather than have somebody come in and pull out all the, beautiful,
Stained glass.
yeah. Right.
Most of our structures are locally historical. There is one that's, I believe, it's state registered, but
Which one is that?
Stephens. The farm is the only.
it's on the golf course, I believe.
The what?
The house on the golf
Oh,
course.
that they can't.
It's Leroy Lawrence's house. He was like, I don't know, I'm gonna butcher it. He's a judge or something.
It's the little house,
Yeah.
right? in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's state
it's
registered.
protected.
What about Stephanie's? I know that's like on some historic register.
The house was built a lot later than most people suspected.
Mhm.
There was always talk that it was part of the Underground Railroad, not
Right.
true.
well,
It was built
it's in my postcard from 1906.
built in the Victorian area, like the 1880s. It was built by Dr. Kern, who was had some military significance in one of the wars, I believe World War One. But it's all local history.
Yeah, I mean,
There are tunnels that go
Yeah, it is. It's built-
to the baker's old house.
So it was built.
Yeah.
It was built like an old English Tudor, where you would have you could vanish behind the fireplace. There's dumb waiters that you can get in as elevators and things of that nature. But it was all just by design. It wasn't really functional per se.
So I
These are the
think
old
that,
tunnels.
that
So what
question,
is the without use of regulation part of it?
because for instance, let's just talk about like the charcoal kilns that we have here in Stamford.
Right,
Those are historically significant.
right.
But I think what it's saying is, would you work with an outside organization to protect these as opposed to passing some zoning bylaw or some regulation that said you can't do anything to them? I mean, they're obviously asking the question in a very specific way, and I'm not really sure why they're doing it that way.
The
But
average
there's-
person's not gonna understand what you just explained, like when they get this in the mail.
Then they just
I
leave
don't
it
know.
blank or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
All right, moving on.
That's what.
Number 16.
What do you consider the town's most important? Natural resource, historical resource, scenic resource.
Fine.
17, should the town restrict outdoor lighting, especially streetlights, to limit light pollution? That seems
Fine.
everybody else fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Transportation and mobility, do you feel the local roads are well maintained?
Fine.
Do you feel the facilities for pedestrians and bicycles are safe and adequate?
Fine.
Anybody have any thoughts on that? Okay,
Do you feel that facilities for pedestrians?
facilities is an interesting word
Yeah.
choice there, but
No, but there's none of that, but that's a good question.
Then they would say, no, it's not adequate.
They're gonna
So then they
go
would
by.
check off, no, it's not adequate. It's just the word facilities, sounds like a building to me.
Right.
Okay, community facilities, speaking of facilities, and services. How satisfied are you with the public services in Stamford? Rate from 1 to 5. That's a lot of work right there, that question 20. It's a lot of work for people.
The outdoor septic systems need to be updated.
Also, you know, everything
What's your
else,
question?
number one is like the most positive, right? When you're doing all the other questions, it's like one is your highest priority, one is your,
Oh, right.
here,
That's a good point.
in this one is not satisfied.
Yes.
That feels backwards to me.
Right, I agree.
So I think one should be very satisfied and 5 is not satisfied. It should go the other way. Unless it's like stars, the star
I know.
system, but it's like you're switching systems, which I think,
I agree.
Yeah.
After all this, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna change the dates and stuff on the town plan. You're gonna update a few
That's all.
statutes. And all the other 95 pages are gonna be
The front
exactly
page
the
is gonna
same.
be different.
stop being such a pessimist.
We're doing our due diligence.
Yeah,
This survey is kind of a boilerplate they send to everybody.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want to do with number 20, anything?
I mean, do we have senior services?
No, that's what people would say they're not satisfied.
Okay, alright, fine. I didn't have any, just the rating
Yeah,
thing is weird.
I think people are gonna say
Whatever.
5 stars, maybe that.
Maybe so, okay, fine.
All right, 21, how do you feel, existing community facilities and services should be improved? And I feel like that should be part of number 20. I don't know. Any additional services are needed, I'm just being picky about the number.
Yeah.
22, should the town pay for a study to assess the feasibility of developing a public water supply system for Sedgwick?
No. I like the question, but no.
Yes, we need that question. Do
Okay.
you have any concerns with the quality or quantity of water available for your current supply source? Okay, energy and flood resilience, what if any of these commercial scale renewable energy generation facilities do you support? Check all that apply, that's simple.
Yep.
Have you dealt with flooding on your property? That, we went over that with them, and that was fine before, right?
Yep.
Have you experienced any, that's, it's people that put in what they've experienced with that?
Yep.
And then there's just demographic questions, anyone have an issue with any of the demographic questions?
No, they all, every single one has a true or not answer.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So we're done with this?
done.
And this, do you have a redundant page also?
What?
I got a redundant page at the end.
I've not.
I'd like to know, just,
Let's see last.
I know there's some people that live here on Main Road right here. What is your feelings? I don't know, if you really have the facility or the time to do this, but I'm gonna ask anyways. What is your feelings about creating a sewer system in town?
It's never gonna happen.
No, I know there's people here that live on,
Well-
would that,
So, I totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for it, but I don't know how you think I don't know how you think that it's never gonna happen.
Right,
I
well,
think
that's
it
where I
actually
start
is
going with
gonna
all
happen.
this.
It's
gonna happen.
it's not, is it gonna happen? It's
Right,
when is it
it'll
gonna happen?
probably happen at your place.
Town's never gonna vote for it.
No, I know that,
But
but it
doesn't
might
the
be
town-
another Act 181 coming in and cram it down your
When the
throat.
state comes in and says that these wells are contaminated, the rivers, that's when it will
No.
likely happen.
You don't need both. If you hit a water source, and necessarily you still have something.
Which is why actually figuring out where the water source or sources are in town
I thought
Is-
they're
is-
defined.
is important.
I thought they were, like Roaring Brook is one of them.
Isn't there an aquifer or something that the town of North Adams maybe? Or
That's all on the
Adams?
other side of the mountain,
That's
off
on the other
Christie
side.
Ranch Road, all flows down towards Broad Brook.
I just thought something was up here.
Well, so there's all these, if you look at the mapping, there's all these headwater streams up off of East Road.
Mm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of them, and they all come down to like where Clough Road is.
Then they meet the river.
And so the question is there an aquifer down in the Clough Road, Clayton Ave area?
There's an
It says yes.
There's water. I mean, there's water in town.
Turn it into the next Poland Spring.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you must know this, up above the lane, somebody was at some point talking about, doing a bottling
So
operation.
there's a whole spring that feeds right down
Water.
there.
Yeah, I think Mullen's got have a spring
Mhm.
up there.
Well, we all
That's right where it was,
Yeah,
there,
they
and
just
maybe a
got
little north of them.
Yeah,
There's water, I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll all be back.
I do know, there was talk about, a aquifer or something that supplied water to one of the mountain towns that way, boy,
The
somewhere.
question's there because they want the town to say yes to that. Because once you say yes to that, then everything is all buggy. I mean, there's 300 acres of golf course sitting right down there. That's prime real estate.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
bam,
Yeah.
2 acres. All you need is 2 acres in Stamford. There's 300 sitting right there.
right.
Right. So then it just opens up everything development, once you say yes to that.
All right, so let's
So
move on.
I don't see it
Shut
happening.
up, Bert. I love listening to them though.
Thanks.
Talk about historic history.
Okay,
100
so
years
that's
right there.
the
Depends how
way-
much it's developed.
I'm living.
Depends how much it's developed.
Moving on.
Old business? Are we here?
That was the old.
No, that was the
business.
word, sorry, so let's bypass the,
So the old business was the survey.
Kind of was
Yeah.
survey, sorry. I just hadn't gotten it back from Kelly until Friday, so I didn't put it on the agenda.
do we have any new business?
No.
Hearing none, seeing none. Okay, that's good. Do we want to work on bylaws? I say,
Yes.
we do. She does.
We put it on last week.
You got 20 minutes in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
I mean,
something.
at least-
I unfortunately have to leave at 7:15 because I had a
All right,
plan.
you got 4 minutes, let's go.
I had a plan, and then we added this, I know.
I thought someone fixed the clock. No?
Yeah, look, it's only 7:07.
Someone said it fixed
We have
it.
8 minutes.
Bang it out.
They do, but it just,
It
catches
keeps,
up.
Go you buy a new clock.
I don't think it meant.
I think we were in section 2.
Yeah, we were.
We should be able to make out section 2 pretty easily, I think.
What's that?
I mean, section 2 is largely state regs, right? Yeah.
It's all like the boilerplate laws that are written.
We already had no
into
issues
the
with
town.
section 2.
I use it all the time.
There was a second section though, wasn't there?
Okay, then leave that.
That's great.
Okay, section 2 limits each.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yep. Have a good one.
Hope you had fun.
Come to the next one, they're really.
Don't be bitter.
Okay, so for section 2, I thought because at 2.2, there was a heading saying use is not requiring a permit. I thought we needed a heading on 2.1 saying like use is needing a permit or, I don't know. You know what I mean? It doesn't match in my brain.
You say 2.21? Is that what you said, 2.2?
I said, so 2.2 has this heading, uses not requiring a permit.
I agree with you.
So 2.1 does not have a heading. I know, English teacher.
No, but it's also, these are exactly the things that get us into trouble.
It should
Is
be
it moving the last sentence, like these uses are allowed, subject to review to the top, like underline, these uses are allowed, subject to review? Cause then the ones underneath are uses not requiring a permit.
But why not start that paragraph with, these uses require a permit? And then, it can clarify it more by saying these uses are allowed subject to review.
It's not really as cumbersome, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like, I felt like-
with you.
2.1.
I'm like, what? I read like 3 times,
Yeah.
it contains too much all.
I think if you can say these require a permit, that's a great start.
2.1 is a boilerplate, it's the state law, period. You can't change the
I
language
know,
of
but I
the
feel like
state
we need
law.
a heading like, this, uses requiring a permit, correct? Because everything under there requires a permit.
The section is limitations, right? So all the limitations to our bylaws
Yeah,
Oh, no,
need to
wait,
be,
these are
These
the
do
things,
not
no, right,
require
these are the things you
permits.
cannot,
right.
I'm wrong.
These
So
are
we
the,
need a heading.
These are allowed.
They're called
These are-
limitations.
What do we want the heading to be? These are
Limitations.
things you cannot limit.
Mhm.
Churches, hospitals.
They're exempt.
So what's our heading there?
What's the heading now?
There isn't.
There isn't, none.
It's just,
It's just a
in
State
accordance
statute.
with.
State
2.1?
statute.
What, are you talking about 2.1?
We are,
The heading is limitations.
no,
Well, then
that's for section 2.
that's the section.
I don't know, it just didn't fit to me without a heading. Maybe
Ask
I'm
them.
just over-
Ask whoever's gonna assist you with the
So
final.
2.2, you're talking about that one.
No, 2.1.
So in other words, we're noting that here,
Yeah?
there is a very simple, as opposed to a whole paragraph, there is a very simple, description.
And then
What
it explains
follows.
it more.
Right, 2.2 has a description, but
So-
2.1 doesn't, is that?
Yeah, so the goal here is to have some language right here before this whole thing that is aligned with this. It's not changing the laws, it's just
Letting
clarifying.
people know what they're going into, because then that paragraph describes.
Yeah, it's just, which clarity is king, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
This whole thing is kind of cumbersome, I thought, like, I get that it's a state statute.
All I know is that if you Google 24 VSA section 44.13, this whole thing comes up.
This entire.
Right, but they just want to define what you're ready to read,
Yes, thank you.
so.
Okay. Yeah, all right, I get you now.
So what do you think would be, because you deal with this a lot, what would be the best?
Can I get back to you on that?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I will come up with something.
Call it state statutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm sorry for sounding kind of like set back, but I've never had to add language to a state statute.
No, it's not.
But that's not what you're doing. The
No.
thing is, you guys, you read these all the time, but when most people pick up these zoning laws to read them, they're really confusing and just kind of jumbled up and not really, they're really hard to read. And there's actually no reason for that. They should not be hard for any person to pick up and read and understand what they're reading. But for some reason, they're not.
That's because people are used to reading language that has alternative motives. In other words, language that means something else as well. And when you're reading law, which you know, it's steadfast. The meaning is for that purpose only. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just, I don't know.
It's ultimately written by lawyers, right?
Well, right. Well, you can't have a word that means two different things in a law. I mean,
It's not
I
subjective.
get it. I'm
Not supposed
just
to be.
rambling again, but anyway.
As long as the state statute is there, it doesn't matter what we put around it
Yeah, we
to
can put
make it
something around it.
digestible for our
Yeah.
town. I guess is
You
what
wanna
I-
introduce-
The way you just said it is like,
I
yes,
did.
we have to have it there, yes, you have to have the legal language, but can we make it actually
Yes, I see what-
readable? Or so, because I mean, I've
Well,
read
I
these
see
like
what-
3 times, and every time I'm like, do I
Yeah.
know what I'm actually talking
Yeah.
about?
It's like, when you request a legal document in plain English. That's what we're trying to make it user-friendly, as opposed to
You want to just
confusing.
introduce what you're ready to read.
Right,
I mean, that makes total sense.
I think so.
It does, but you gotta make sure that the
But I don't
language
see in the
doesn't
statute
mean
where
two
it's saying
things.
these uses are allowed subject to review as conditional uses in any district and conditions related to any of the standards noted in this section that may be imposed by the zoning board. That doesn't say that here.
That's why I feel like that was added as like a.
I do too.
And I think it needs, if that, I mean, I think it needs to be cut down and simplified, but I think it
Where
needs
you-
to go first, and then that's in accordance with.
Okay, yes, I like that.
Cause that's kind of what the next one is like not, use not requiring a permit. So you're like set up for, okay, these things don't require a permit, whereas like the first one, these uses are allowed.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And that, it is a long sentence, because I remember reading that. So then it's allowed, but then by review, but by any district, by.
But it is, yeah, I used to understand it, now I'm confused.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's
sort of
allowed,
it's stupid.
It's sort of this one phrase, you know, these uses are allowed, subject to review
So are all
as conditional
things.
uses. Yeah,
I mean, really,
yeah, there's an exception to every rule.
well, most everything is allowed, subject to review.
Right.
Whether it's the zoning administrator or the planning commissioner,
Well,
or
certain
the
things,
ZBA.
you know, like no flashing lights on signs, that's not allowed. So not everything is
Well,
allowed.
this says,
No,
I
I mean, as far as the regular zoning,
Right,
everything's allowed, subject to review.
right.
I think that's
So it's
great,
kind of
like,
redundant.
so that
Yeah.
people realize that it's just not allowed, you do need to know about it, you do need to know what's going on.
Yes.
So that people don't just have free will of all things.
Yes.
and I like what it actually says here, and I don't know why it didn't make it into our thing, but it says, so after it says, landscaping and screening requirements, they have, and only to the extent that regulations do not have the effect or interfering with the intended functional use. I don't know how we got all that language after, that was clearer to me.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
I don't know how we get into the whole ZBA and would that be the appropriate place to, do we have to name the ZBA if we're saying it needs to be reviewed?
Yeah, any conditional use can't be approved by the AO, it has to go to the ZBA.
Yeah.
I mean. All right, I have to go, I'm so sorry.
Think that maybe do something done.
Yeah. That's great. Expect me to have everything.
Everything done.
ship-shape by the time I hear about it.
For your review.
Not gonna have any effect on it.
Is that you? That's you.
I can't give up. It should be, you know, have digest.
All right, so what do we
Can't
do
give
here?
up on that.
I'm not sure, this was a, seemed like I couldn't comprehend that lesson. I know what each word means, but the same words jammed together.
All right, that's 2.2 and 2.1, correct?
And I still have a heading on two point
It's
one.
not.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Let's just hold on to that and, you know, do your research and whatever you want to do, and I will too.
Sorry, guys. It's okay. Fine.
Bye.
Hey, Marta.
Take care.
Thank you.
See you later.
All right.
Could you turn the light on, Marta? Please. Oh, it's over here, never mind.
Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Sorry.
The 300 square feet buildings, the sheds, blah, 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 anything less than 300 square feet has to still have to have a notification to the town, correct?
Yeah.
And then,
That's all I do.
so, let me.
That is my entire job.
And so, let me ask you a question. You charge a fee for that?
Nope, not me. I
Does the
can't.
town charge a fee?
$15. I get paid nothing, and I do it the same as I
So-
would with the house. Yep.
So you need to put that in writing and forward to us, and we'll just send a letter to the, because I think that that's important that you get paid for that.
No, how are they going to pay me? The people only, they only pay
Well, the
$15.
town, you should get an hourly rate for something like that.
What?
You're so
Here we go.
funny.
Here we go again.
Make me laugh.
Okay.
Can
I'm
we
just saying.
inquire how much? the
I've been
town
down this
pays
road
for
with them, they
permits?
will not pay you, they don't trust anybody who doesn't come in and almost like clock in and clock out, they won't, they will not trust you to keep track of your own hours.
Okay, so.
That was made
Don't work
abundant,
from home.
that was made
Well, you come up with
ridiculously
one fee,
clear.
$1 or $1.
I also think
period.
there's other reasons for, I also think there's other reasons.
They don't like me?
No, I don't think it's anything personal. I think there's other reasons why things are set up the way they are. I
Alright,
don't
so-
disagree with you, Deb. I don't
2-2,
disagree.
So
let's talk
but-
about.
But just, so getting back to
sorry.
that, so all of the fees went up. So we do have a slush fund somewhere,
Really?
but we can't use it, the planning commission. And I said, well, where does the slush fund money go? And it just goes into some giant pot.
I thought part of the fees going up were, part of that was to compensate our AO.
Right,
I thought that's what was
Part of
supposed to
it.
happen.
part of it. So what I did is I kept track of all my hours for the year and broke it down, and it was like $5 an hour when it was all said and done. Yeah,
Skilled labor.
yeah.
All right, let's go back doing something.
You wanna bring that up again, Jim?
Sure.
Okay.
Just a little zinger once in a while kind of gets the blood boiling a little.
So it does require a permit then?
So they have to write to you?
So then why is it under use not requiring a permit?
Right.
That's, I guess, what I'm saying, like.
Oh, it's a notice of a building.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
shed.
say permit, it says notice of a
So
building.
how does that
So then
happen
how
then?
does the town?
So someone's gonna.
We have two different forms.
Yeah.
One is an actual building permit, the other is notice of a building. So the notice of building comes in, and it's the same process, so I still have to process it
You
the
still have to
same.
go look at it?
I
Like say I'm putting up a shed, then I just have to tell you in writing that I am.
Yep, and I have to go and make sure you're putting it in the right place, yes.
All for free, you're doing all that?
Yeah.
Well, I had to do the same, when I was there, it was the same way. There were certain things that I had to do too.
They
that I
weren't,
had
they
to
weren't
pay
300 square feet went up.
for. 300 square feet went up?
It used to be any shed you get paid $100 for.
Yeah.
But then they said sheds 300 square feet in our last bylaws don't require a permit.
So,
Before it was just any shed you get paid for.
so when I first started, it was, that 300 foot was still there. I showed it to them and I was told at that time, and I don't know why I allowed it, but they said, oh no, this is what we do. It's $100, you get $100 for
Correct.
doing it, and they have to pay, no, it's $110, I think.
Right, so the filing fee.
Filing fee.
Yeah, yeah, but then they changed it that it does not require a permit.
Right.
So
No,
it's
they didn't
not-
change it. The state, it's always been that way, Deb, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, they're not collecting a fee for it. The town isn't.
They're not allowed to, and so.
That's just in the-
And I brought that up to them years ago, and they said, oh no, we don't, we're exempt from that, we don't have to do it, and I never checked into it.
The
I should
shed,
have.
shed's in the same column as like above ground pools, outside fireplaces.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. It's just basically the town said, you know, go ahead and do it rather than.
Well,
get-
above ground pools have to be permitted. They
Well,
do.
I forget exactly
If
what's
they're
in
not
like,
taken down, yes,
Yeah.
every year, correct.
right at the beginning, there's a list of like town exemptions.
Did, I did, I have to see that. Yeah.
Well, if you have a pool, you probably wouldn't see it. Anyways. All right, the reason why I asked you, because that was 221. Where it says use is not requiring a permit. I can't think of any other things. The only thing that I wanted to make sure that we need to do something on is, it's on the next page, when we talk about pools, lamp posts, 2.2. I think all of that is pretty decent, but I know this was one of my pet peeves, and I know it's Deb's pet peeve as well, and that's tree houses. And I think a couple of communities that I read some of their bylaws, I had read that if it is used as a sleeping quarters or things like that, it needs a permit. That's what most of the communities do that. So if it's for a playhouse, a children's, I have one up at my house, you can come take a look at that. It's like
It's,
an 8x10, I think, to rent it up in a maple and,
You get a permit?
no,
That's pretty big.
8x10?
That's pretty big.
It's 80 square feet,
Good
well,
question.
I think,
3 stories. No,
I-
I'm just kidding.
I did have a complaint for somebody that built a tree house, and the tree house overlooks the other person's house.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
I mean, what's stopping someone from building a treehouse like you
That
said
is-
on TV, right?
Right?
That they actually can live in.
Well, there is at least one tree house like that in North Adams.
There you go.
So there is a,
Tree house.
there's various ways to write the bylaw for that. You know, one of them was as simple as a playhouse. If it's for children, it's blah, blah, blah. It's not a, it's, living room, bed. There's tree houses that are like, you guys all watch the Tree House Master or whatever it is, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Those are, need a permit. We have to live in. But,
If you're gonna put a plank up there for your kids to play in with a little guardrail around it, no.
right. But there is some, I don't know if there's any in the only one that makes me look is the one above Al's.
Yeah.
And it's like, that thing is 300 plus square feet.
Big tree house.
And it looks like it has,
Running water?
it looks like it has
Pylons going.
pylons going to the ground.
Where's that?
Not just the tree, and I think that could be part of the, if it's other than a tree, a couple of, maybe a support for a deck or something, I can understand, but if you have to put, pylons or 6x6s up,
That sounds more like a building to me
Yeah,
than,
it
That's
is.
a building.
than a kid's tree
It
house.
is.
and it's lower to the ground too, so it's only maybe 6-8 foot off the ground on the hill.
Well,
Anyways,
May want to mention in the future. I mean, if it's not mentioned, it's just not something you can't do, right?
It
Something
is.
not mentioned in your bylaws just basically says you can't, it doesn't
That
say
is-
can or can't do it.
that is the way
that is
it's
the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But
If it's not mentioned in the bylaws, you cannot do it, is that what you said?
Why can't you?
No, I'm trying to figure what you said.
That's what I'm saying. Why can't I do it? If it's not mentioned in there,
not
why can't I
mentioned
do
in the
it?
bylaws, you don't have a rule on it.
Okay.
So that's why I said before, you want to think outside the box, like mini
Mm.
homes, tree houses, yurts, composting toilets, things that are on the way in, house on wheels.
I think
All
even
this stuff.
composting, isn't that state regulated?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we
I think it's even evolved from that. Not composting, it has to be, I forgot the language, but read it. It's, I read it recently because I wanted to look into the campgrounds, that's the other thing too, is what is a campground? And so anything more than 3 spots is considered a campground, and those 3 spots have to be, it falls under different, in other words, they have to have septic and all of that stuff.
kind of like that place on East Road, isn't that?
I don't know, they started building that when I was still the AO
Yeah.
back then. They had a circle there, a driveway and a circle and one tie-in, and now
Aren't there 2?
there's like 3 or 4,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, so that's relatively new, because, there was only like 2 there.
There's 2 campers there. One day when I drove by, there was 2 campers. But I kind of snuck and kind of drove up there one day. I wasn't the AO anymore at the time. But there's at least 3, there might be 4, but that might be a diffuse box over there. But yeah, they went all out there. So I don't know. It would probably be worth a trip, but, cause anything, if it hits 3, it's gotta be, what do they call them? The campgrounds.
You'd have to have a site plan review.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yes.
No,
And
it's
then you
it
could be
can't,
up into those beds.
when you leave, it can't be,
Those
nothing there.
The what?
Oh, a
Be up
campsite?
into the headwaters right there.
Campground.
There's
No,
there's a stream
There's-
right there, right
What do you
there,
call it?
literally
Not
on the
arcade.
property line, on the
there's
north.
a word for it. If you use 3, if you got a 3, you're allowed, in other words, you can stay there and you can camp, but when you leave, everything goes with you.
Right, I'm not sure.
Huh.
Primitive campsite.
It's like what the state forest does. Your state
This
forest.
would be a primitive campsite.
Yeah, primitive, that's the word
Where
we
you'd
use.
have like privy,
Right, 3, your first stage for a permit that a person can
Are
get
they
for a camp.
glamping, or are they building, or what's happening?
It's pretty clampy.
Glamping?
It's glamping. Yeah, it's, they did a nice road, a nice circle,
Yeah, it is.
redwood posts coming out of the
There's
ground,
probably all kinds of,
plug stations.
I imagine in town, if I were just
All
venturing
around
to
the
guess,
circle.
there's glamping, Airbnbs, all over.
Yeah, they were doing that when I left.
That was quite a roundabout.
Yeah, anyway. But they did evolve, I noticed that. I do have some information on camping in here that I
Are we
researched.
gonna go to camping though, right now?
What's that?
Are we moving on to talking about camping, or are we?
I think we're still in 2, right?
Camping isn't there, right?
226, 227, 228,
Okay.
229, walking of.
What I wanted to ask on 2.27 there, repair and maintenance of an owner's property and driveways. The property seems vague to me, what are they, 227? What does property mean?
Repair and maintenance of an
I would say
owner's property.
that,
I'd
I
have
would
to
read
look
it
at
as
that.
their structure, their home.
Their structure.
Uses not requiring a permit.
General upkeep, you're sealing your
Yeah.
driveway, you're painting your house,
Okay, thank you.
I would think.
Right.
Yeah.
Lamp post and all that good stuff. This is basically still under that list of not needing a permit.
There's your tree house.
And the treehouse is in there, but the treehouse, we gotta put language in there, some kind of, that would be 2210, would fall under swing set, jungle gyms, tree houses, and other similar children's play equipment not connected with commercial property. And I put tree houses for children.
Or children's play equipment such as, right? Maybe
Yeah.
that?
Yep. Yep. And then when it comes to, when we get into the things that need a permit,
Right, you can have
we can
You
add
wanna go back to
tree
tree
houses,
house?
but define what a tree
adult
house
tree
is.
house.
Or the square
Houses
footage or
above
something like.
That's connected to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does, I mean, we don't have to call it a shed or a 300, that falls under the 300 because it's the definition of a tree house.
Right.
We have to define what we call a tree house unless the state has defined it. I'm not 100% sure.
Interesting.
Garbage dumpsters. Required setbacks. I had a question about what
I do
setbacks.
too. What setbacks?
Yeah,
2212
setbacks.
required, is that 2212?
Required setbacks, and you just have to look at the grid
Oh.
for the
Is it that
individual.
table?
Okay.
Yes, the table.
Then that also goes to
The
dumpsters.
table needs to say like setback.
Yeah.
Somewhere, because like if you, when you read it, you don't know that these mean.
Oh, I see what, I just assumed, see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I know I've looked at that
Minimum
table and
front
been
yard.
like, okay.
Minimum side, 25 feet.
I did, we sit there
I
and we
assumed it meant this, but.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah,
yeah, and I just take it for
But if
granted.
you, like, for,
Yeah.
like, you search this document, and you're like setbacks, it comes back required setbacks, and then you see required setbacks, but nowhere does it point you to this table to be
Right,
like,
right.
this is what we mean by setbacks.
right.
So do we need the setbacks outlined in blank, 4.4,
That's a good
whatever?
idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we gotta talk about that as well, because it's funny how in swing sets and garbage dumpsters, and we talk about setbacks in garbage dumpsters that meet the, garbage dumpsters that meet the required setbacks. we're getting specific as to dumpsters need to be, have setbacks, I can see that, but, when we get into the, like driveways and stuff like that, and that's where we need to be,
We need a
We
whole
need to
session
find
on
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know we did talk about it, but.
Right. So, and I don't, I'm not gonna get into that conversation again. Not right now anyways, we gotta keep going here, we're making progress.
So with swimming pools, we also need to put that table, point to the table.
Oh, there was language, and guys, I'm so sorry. There was language about requiring a permit, and it defined in-ground swimming pools.
Right.
But then it said not requiring a permit above ground, but then it said, okay, let me jump back, the next one said it doesn't require it for like kiddie pools that are coming down each year, but it doesn't, it specifically mentions in-grounds, but not permanent above grounds.
That's what I was wondering.
So we have to add that in.
So that's the
And
reason
you
why
said
no
to me,
one's,
read your bylaws, but I didn't. I did, like our pool, we don't take down.
So
It would wreck the pool to take it down.
It should have had a notice.
Where do you see that? Like, where did you find that? I believe you, but.
Because I was part of the discussion back when we did the permit, so
Where
I
does
just
it
remember.
say that?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Oh.
got to
It was
be
just all
defined.
You just said to me before, read your bylaws, and I'm
Right.
like, well, I didn't, I just.
It's not in
was
the
reading
bylaws.
We need it in
Well,
there.
it specifically says, above ground pools that are taken down every year do not require,
Right,
but it forgets
right.
to define what to do with above
Okay,
ground
okay, I'm not.
permanent. Now, when we were all talking about it, how many years ago,
right,
it should have been put in there because it was a lengthy discussion.
Oh,
So that's
Yeah.
how,
we
that's
need
how I
that in
remember.
there. Okay.
Yeah, we need it back in there.
or do we?
Yes.
Well,
That's the other
yes,
question.
because I felt very
Because I just had
comfortable
to-
with this.
I
because
just had to issue a permit for an above ground pool. So
Okay.
yes,
I will be
and
doing that.
it was larger, because it is a use accessory to your building.
Yes.
And it's not, typically when you put an above ground pool in like that, I mean, you're
It's
doing
huge.
excavation,
It's
you're
permanent.
changing the grade, yeah, I mean, it's not a.
It's permanent.
It's, so,
So
Yeah.
yes, they had to do a permit for it.
So mine's one of those, like, above, below ground, you know one of them?
Like Shelley,
Yeah.
the Christopherini's, that's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's
So that's a
it's an
permit.
embankment.
Oh, it's
pool.
permanent. Yeah, it's actually backed up to an
Mhm.
embankment.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, but, I mean, I put that in.
So we're calling that a permanent above ground pool? Is that?
Yeah.
language?
Above ground pool that,
No, permanent.
yeah,
Okay.
All above ground pools right now, I think are all permanent.
Because I read that language, and I'm like, but I'm not taking my pool
If
down.
anything, they take,
Because-
they
No.
might take it, they empty the water out of it and maybe,
No,
but they still leave it on.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
more like one
It's
of them.
just too much excavation, too much, yeah, no.
What per-
Anyways,
That's more like for one of them inflatable pools you get at Walmart that are like 3 feet deep or whatever.
yeah, it
Usually
lasts about
pops
a
by
week.
the end of the year anyway.
They last about a week.
Okay, but that still has to meet a setback, if it's that, it has to meet the setback? Well, that's what it said.
Well, that's what we need to write the bylaws for.
So do we want
I
to
see
take that
what you're
out?
saying.
Yeah.
You should leave the setbacks in there because it just tells
Leave
people
the
that you gotta
setbacks.
be 25 feet from the
Because-
property line.
Okay.
I have to do setbacks for sheds.
Yeah.
So
But if someone's putting up a Walmart Intex little kiddie pool, they have to have 20.
well, because think about if your neighbor came and they slapped a pool right on the sideline, there's like, 8 kids in it all the time and screaming and all this,
Yeah.
they probably shouldn't be doing that right on the property line. They probably should be 25 feet away from the property.
I can only hope they stay on the property.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, depends who it is.
I won't hear them. Anyways,
All right.
yeah, so we gotta write some language on
All right,
that.
so we're at
Maybe
2.212, agricultural practices. Why is that all in capitals? I don't know. Required agricultural practices. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212. 2.212.
I think.
Oh,
it's a
because it
state
is a
regulation.
state, it is
State
defined,
defined,
yeah. REP.
And so that
I
also
know.
refers to the flood hazard zone too.
Okay. Is that
Speaking of
language?
which, maybe this would be the right time to say it, but flood hazard area regulations, there, I invited, is it Brent? I can't think of her last name, I'll tell you what her name is, but she's in, ahead of for the state, the floodwaters and all of that stuff. She's gonna come and,
Different from the other person we had that came and talked to us about it?
yes,
Is it
This one.
Rebecca? It's not Rebecca Chalmers.
yes,
Is it?
I think. Let me get that for you, you guys go ahead now.
Are they done with the maps here in town, in this section of the state?
I'm not sure. That's what some of the questions and stuff that I wanted to get answered, because we don't have maps down here yet.
Originally, it's supposed to be the end of this year, I
Right.
think, but I'm not sure where they're at on.
It should be Rebecca.
I think it is Rebecca.
It would be a good idea to try to look at that.
Do you think, Pam, do we look at something like this?
So I have we were looking, I showed you some A&R maps.
Yeah.
You know, off the A&R website. I don't know if they're the newest.
Oh.
I know that our area is
I just got
included.
an email from a couple of weeks ago. No, they're not done yet.
There's
I
wide,
know for sure they're not done.
Yeah,
And they
There's
don't know
LiDAR.
when they're going to be done. Let me see if I can.
there's LiDAR in the state water maps now, so expect more
yeah,
More what?
But I think they
it
have,
is Jessica,
You already,
Oh, it's not Rebecca?
you scheduled this
Okay.
person to come?
yes.
Oh,
all
all right.
tell her
Can you
that.
send that to me?
She gave me three
What are you, his
dates
wife?
that she had available, so
Jim's just running the,
I just,
Ship here.
we can cancel her.
no, send that to me. When is it,
Jessica.
June 8th?
She's the river coordinator and floodplain manager for the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources.
There you go, good invite.
June what?
That is a good, yeah,
It's a good invite.
because we do really want to actually have her down here to see her.
I know, so,
June.
Good job.
Reporter.
You just gotta tell these.
I'm
Forward it to
just
yourself.
Kent and Lisa Gremlin.
forward to,
Aren't I in your contact?
gotcha.
Be interesting, but I don't know if they're done here or not yet. I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know if they're done down
They
this
might
side of the
be
wood.
like done, just haven't pressed the button to update the map.
All right, so, back to, where are we?
We are.
You're smiling at me.
We just
Come on
finished
back.
12, so we're on 13. That doesn't seem touchable,
No, forestry operations.
right? I think that is what it is. 13.
Yeah. That is what it is. Solar energy devices on a roof having a slope of less than, I don't think we have. You got a degree monitor and all that for people with solar panels on their roof? I don't think so. All right,
So solar panels do not need a permit if they are at that slope.
no. We can't touch solar or anything like that.
No, if it's a certain slope, yes, we can. Then we'd have to refer it to the state.
Right.
You can't just let it happen.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Or on a big slope roof, nobody would do it.
So in 2.2, the only one that requires the zoning administrator be notified is 2.21. All the other ones are not required use, and you don't have to tell them.
A lot of them are state stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I get questions all the time about solar, and
Yeah.
there's nothing we can really do unless it's of course, well, actually, we really can't.
Can't do anything.
One thing, fences are in another section.
Yeah, the fences are in there, but they're, I think, 8 feet. You can't do anything
8
to them
feet.
until 8 feet, so.
Yeah, we don't mess with fences.
Deb, so you get all these questions all the time from people that you're constantly having to answer. Do you think that by thinking of those questions, that you can adjust the bylaws so they would better explain
I
to
have,
people?
in my computer, I've got lists and lists and lists of things.
So we could make those changes so that,
Well, yeah, or, and it's not necessarily changes, but like we were talking about, better explanations.
Right.
So these, somebody can read it and say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like Laura Sibilia, she explains things that is pretty good. You know, she takes all that legalese stuff and throws it out there for you to understand. And in these bylaws, a lot of this stuff, if we changed one or two words, just say, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
because otherwise people are just gonna call you. That's what I would do.
And
I'd
that's
just be
okay.
like, yep, I'm just gonna call, I'm just gonna call, I'm just gonna call, so I don't have to
They may
figure it out.
anyway.
Yeah.
And they may say, you know, this is how I understand it, is this correct?
And I highly recommend calling Deb. Period.
Yeah.
As far as,
Yeah.
land use or anything like that.
Well, Lauren,
If you wanna
Lauren sends
recommend-
everything to me. She's
Okay.
supposed to.
Just saying. All right,
So we're done with section 2.
okay.
Should we end with?
I think that's all we had on our plan.
Yeah.
I know I didn't write it.
Why don't we,
What section 3 you get
It's
into?
just districts. You could
Oh, the
just go like, the
districts.
districts are okay.
so no, they're not.
No, they're not.
We gotta put a
Yeah.
village center
You
in.
gotta put, yeah.
That's, the district is gonna be right here.
How do you know what the districts are until they label your land?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I don't know what we do with that right now.
I do.
I mean,
I say to the state line to the bridge. Village center.
no,
They're not gonna go that big.
We're not gonna go that big.
They're just not gonna go that big.
we talked about this.
Because
Yeah,
you start
they did.
losing
Yeah.
center. When your center's a mile and a half long,
Is that a
No
mile
longer
and a half
have a
of this
center.
bridge to the,
it's pretty close. It's a mile at least.
And we're opening ourselves up.
It's no longer a
to
center if it's a mile. It's not a center. It's not the historical town center.
as long as we keep the 2-acre mandatory for land, for buildings, we don't have to worry about water. 'Cause
I
there's-
mean, should we,
Yes.
we're getting
Yes, we
into
should.
this, but, you know, for the rural, maybe keep it at 2, but forest district, go back to 5.
Yeah, we're all open to.
But, you know,
Well, it's
Five,
fine right
Well,
now.
I got some bylaws that a young
Five
man,
is really small.
Well, it's 2 right now.
In rural?
Nothing.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
everything's 2.
That's
So-
ridiculous.
Everything is 2.
But forest is
everything,
fine.
we changed everything at our last bylaws.
Forest is
We'll
fine.
have no forest if you-
I don't think
All
forest
right.
is 5.
Forest is fine.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the rest is 2.
Okay.
In 1989, cabins, camps, chalets, blah, 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 can only be done in the forest, of course, and it has to have a minimum of 25 acres.
That's how we.
Yeah, that, you really wanna dive into it. So there was something put forward on the fear of the Harry Patton illness that was going around. That was put forward in the late 80s. I researched it quite a bit. I just haven't gone as far as pulling the minutes out of there because it made it to town meeting and I believe it was shot down. You were talking 25 acre sites, 10 acres, 15, 5. It was broken up all over the place. And I got a map somewhere.
When I started, it was 5.
The forest is 5. There was some talk about bringing it to 10 at one time.
Yeah.
That was the conversation. Rural and residential and rural, there's really not much of a distinction at all between them, other than
Right.
I think maybe the size of a duplex or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's even,
Yeah, it's
I don't
minimal.
think you can regulate
Yeah, it's,
that up to 4.
yeah,
And then
it's very minimal.
Holy shit, how far does this go back? Just 80?
But you're about to get in the nuts and bolts of what do you want the town to be, right?
Amended September 73.
So the first bylaws were written in 1972, right? They haven't changed very little all the way up until 2009. We went from 1 acres to 2 acres.
What I find fascinating is the language that I'm reading here is We still have it today.
It's the same, that's what I'm telling you, they're almost identically the same,
Yeah.
except the last two times, in '09, like I said, they changed the acreage because it was E. coli concerns. And then in 2000, whatever we wrote it, 16 or whatever, we changed it significantly, not so much we changed it, but we added a lot of things, like site plan reviews, we talked a lot about compounding and house structures and things of that nature. But they're basically the same as they've always been. For the most part, yeah, they haven't changed much. Yeah,
I'm gonna read it.
yeah.
See if we can change. I'll use the same language.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can not only change to whatever district you're looking at, but you can change the lines on the map too, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can label these things, but until you know from the state, or at least have a good idea of what you're dealing with.
Has Stamford received, that you know of, as selectmen, have they received the maps that they originally,
They're online.
Maps for what?
all the maps that when they remapped everything, are they
You're
available
talking about tier
now?
1, tier 2, but that's
Everything.
online.
Is it online?
We have it, right?
No, we haven't seen.
When they did the
I haven't
tax,
seen
when they did
anything
this,
since.
does a map, the tax maps.
So I got a map at home, I'll bring it in next time, right? I color coded the whole thing. It's one color is national forest, which you're already dealing with tier 3.
Right.
But there's a second section I covered that was privately owned forest. Right? These are the sections that are gonna be of concern of what tier is this privately owned forest in Stamford in? Right? Is it in tier 3 or is it in tier 2?
And that's the areas that people are really gonna be, tuning into and looking at, these people that have these large land holdings that are concerned about.
But all that really kicks in is, it doesn't say that you can't do anything there. It just kicks in an Act 250 permit, which it does right now.
So if it's tier 2, it would go by the old 250
It'd just be
rules.
status quo. I don't know if the status quo is something that they come up with or if it's something that's regulated.
Yeah, whatever 250 is now.
Right.
250.
So I don't see a whole lot of change with Stamford with this. There's a lot of ways, for example, to look at the 800-foot of road, right? And I know this is one of the contentious ones. But let's take that 800-foot of road and let's put it in Stamford right now, right? And let's go to our bylaws and say you need 150-foot of road frontage for a structure. Right? That's 5 houses on each side of the road. That road runs from here to the firehouse, right? That's 10 houses from here to the firehouse, theoretically, right? Now let's say 3 or 4 kids from them townhouses want to go to high school, right? You just broke even on your taxes. Development is not the answer to any type of money problems in Stamford, all right? If you got a 5th kid, you're now paying more on taxes, right? It's $19,000 a year for a kid to go to McCann, right? You're not getting that much from a structure, A decent structure is giving you $5 grand a year. So be careful. Be careful what we're wishing for, not only locally, but as a state.
No, I mean,
This 800-foot road rule is mostly for high-end developers that want to put a windy road into one structure, right? That's what the state is trying to get away from. Maybe that's to our benefit in Stamford, I don't know, right? If we're a second home nation.
It's like what Margaret was saying though, that, the developers are hurting like the people the little guy that owns property. Like they want to do property.
Sure, that's who it riles up the most, but it's gonna be minimal, unless you own huge tracts of farmland,
But those are all
or
people
forested
that are funding
areas,
it, yeah.
which
It's
are
not
gonna
that-
kick in an Act 250 permit now, so it's not really changing anything.
Right.
Nothing is
But I
changing.
don't think people think that.
Well,
They don't, because they get property rights and they freak out and they don't bother to read the rules.
But people really need to have a public meeting where someone who has the actual knowledge can come down and speak to the public so that there can be an interaction and everyone can understand what is happening and what's not happening. Right now, everyone's just literally hysterical about it. And I don't know enough. As I said, I feel very strongly about sticking Act 250s on people. Because I know what a nightmare it is. And so I recoil at the idea of doing that to people. But again, I don't know. I don't know enough about it right now to.
and that's the way they want you.
Well, that,
Well, how
I mean,
far can-
again, we can't let them, we don't, as a town, we don't have to allow them to have us not have knowledge. They work for us. We pay them. We pay all these
BCRC again?
BCRC, our state reps, you know, and
But
They-
the state reps are flip-flopping because they wanted to protect the area, then they hear from all the, like.
Well, it's because there's a vote coming up in November and they chickened out. They could
Well,
slam it through right now. They
but
got the vote.
also, yeah, but also, you have a situation where you have, at least from what I understand, a lot of groups, special interest groups, say environmental groups, and they have an agenda, and their agenda does not necessarily match with the agenda of, say, some of our large landowners here in Stamford. It's two different agendas that are colliding. And it comes down to the rights of an individual versus the right of the state or the whole. So there's always gonna be that clash, but you can't even have a conversation if you don't know what the actual facts are. And that's where I don't like that we don't really have a full understanding.
And
Well, how much road is being argued about
These
here?
people that came in tonight, they left not knowing anything more than I'm
Right.
sure than they came
We have
in.
nothing else
So
to eat.
how much road can you put in right now before you generate an Act 250 permit?
Me?
I think
Anything?
it's
1,200 feet?
1,600.
1,200 feet, something like
I
that?
think it's
So they
16.
cut,
We had to go
they
through it.
basically cut it in half and
Yeah.
then, they just say you can't do it, you just gotta generate it, so another Act 250 permit.
You could put a road all the way around your property. I mean, I could put a road all the way around my
Right.
property, but I have to do it in such a way where it
Yeah.
doesn't, you know, I can't build bridges over rivers and things like that.
I mean, huge property owners, it does have an effect on, but what they're trying to do is just isolate, like your survey says, isolate everything in the village center districts. No sprawl, no fragmentation,
Which-
out into outer regions.
Again, I'm not even sure that that model is actually what Stamford
We could
wants.
Right.
I don't know that that's, we might
think
want
we
the
could do
exact opposite of what they want. We might want these large lots with trophy homes, you know,
Second
throughout
homes.
this house.
That's where we
Yeah.
have room to build.
I-
Really.
You know, but-
You may, but if you're speaking from a hardcore environmental standpoint, that's absolutely what you do not want.
I know.
You don't want this fragmentation where these
Right.
huge swaths of land open up in the middle of the forest.
I agree, but what Pam's saying is like, that is like,
You
I
get it.
think we have room in the village.
So we're now finding the line, that's the contentious point, everybody.
You have to find the line, but I mean, you can argue that if 60%, all these ridge lines on both sides of the town are all owned by National Forest, then you're already preserving.
You are, but that's not to say they're not gonna come and clear cut it like they're doing all over the forest right now.
Yeah, but we can't, I mean, that's a
What's
whole-
stopping they manage?
That's a
We
whole
have
different
absolutely
story.
no control.
All I know is that it's not, it's none of it is simple, none of it is
So
easy.
the other thing you have to think about pushing out to all these areas and just, it's all theoretical, but let's say you start ending up with a bunch of private roads in Stamford, that's a bad formula, man. You're gonna have a whole bunch of people that aren't dependent on road maintenance from the town, right? They're dependent on whoever owns that private road. And whoever owns that private road may very well get pissed off at the 5 people that live behind them and say, I'm not plowing it anymore. Right, then what? You got 5
Well,
taxpayers
if
that can
it's-
no longer get out of their road.
Well, that,
Then you got an issue,
That,
right?
but you
Because
have
they're
to,
gonna want
I mean,
it.
we know that, that has to
We
be,
have
that
to-
has to be dealt with.
it had to be dealt with, unfortunately, with lawyers, and then it's in the deed.
Mhm.
So,
You have to have a road maintenance,
Which you
agreement
do.
with whoever that,
Kind of like an HOA, so,
no, it's a road maintenance agreement.
but similar.
Yeah, I guess similar, but we don't pay into it, only when there's maintenance, like we agree when maintenance needs to be done, and
I mean,
all parties contribute ratably.
And it's meant so that just what Kurt said can't happen, so that the guy in the front says, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore, and everybody in the back is screwed.
Well, and
because-
Pam, one of the reasons it's very important to have a road maintenance agreement, they may be all your best friends, But
Today.
one person may decide to sell their property,
Right.
and the new person can't get a mortgage without a road maintenance agreement. They won't fund it, period.
So what happens,
It's attached to the deed.
so what happens, like,
Attached to the
If
deed.
it's attached to, if a road maintenance agreement is not in place, I doubt you'll get a lender to lend on that parcel. Because there's no way to maintain the road. They have to protect their interests.
so the other nugget on this is,
The maintenance agreement would be on all private
It
roads?
should be, it should
Yeah,
be,
it should be,
Mhm.
but it's not.
but it should be.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's no,
But we
there's no
can't
legal
enforce
recourse.
it. We can't enforce it, it's
Yeah,
Hey,
among
I
the
mean, it
people.
only makes sense to do that.
private roads are a
We could be
nightmare
all
for this
best
town.
friends, and then once that was
Ours is fine.
personal.
I think if we keep expanding on private roads, it's gonna be a nightmare. If there's not these written agreements, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's nothing we can do about it.
Well, it's funny because, the Derby Kilfoyles used ours as a template for
Mhm.
their
Right,
association.
so if you're gonna develop off them, it's a private road to your house, and that's a different story. So Sparrow Road was a private road, right, back in the 1980s.
Sparrow was?
Yeah, and there was a big argument over that, and the town ended up having to make it a public road.
Oh.
Right, so
Interesting.
are we in room to have growth for public roads? Right, do we have the road crew for it? Do we have the expenses for it?
Right.
Stanford is in a weird predicament, mostly because we have to tuition our kids out of here to go to high school. So, you know, I don't know how much we spent on that, but it's a good portion of what the school budget is. Well, not half.
It's like 19 grand, something like that.
Per
Does that
kid.
sound about right?
Yeah, one
Six-
kid.
16 to 19.
I mean, I'm not sure how much we might get back,
To
like
McCann.
kickback and something from the state, or if that's just the exact number. But it's a ridiculous number. 19,000 a year, that's four
None of
good
this.
structures, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like devil's advocate though, the people that are against 181 are precisely for building.
Well,
No,
no, not necessarily. Basically, what they're for is, this is my 401k, this 300 acres is my family's 401k, and we don't want you coming in here and touching it. Like, you have no right
But
to
they're
come
not
and take that
touching
from
it.
me.
Or dictate what
They're
we do.
restricting your rights.
But that,
They're
when you go to do something,
They're taking your rights.
Yeah.
They're taking, if it's your 401k and you're able to subdivide it and sell it, and they've taken that away from you, oh my God.
they haven't taken it away though.
They would take your rights away from doing that. They
Most
would
farms-
regulate it,
It's regulated, it's not
and it
taken
could
away.
take years.
All right, I'll take a motion.
Most farmers just want to be able to afford to farm.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've made it impossible for them to do that. They don't really want to sell the land, they want to be able to access it. They want to go over there and have it be theirs.
Right,
But
and
it is
they
an op- it is
might
an
need to
option.
differentiate that then when they if and when they redo it.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest points is private farm or large tracts of land, being able to access it and develop it, you know, as you wish, I guess.
But there's no timeline on the field right now.
No.
I think you have, don't you just have to go through it as if it's not even here at this point? Because what, you could just be sitting here waiting. It could be 5 years from now before anything actually happens.
Yeah, I mean, we have changes that have been enacted to our bylaws at a state level that we can't enforce anymore on our bylaws that are different. So yeah, we have to just go forward.
Yeah.
Could be years.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, 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 aye.